Hey, welcome world. Welcome to another episode of Man's Minute. This is April 19th, Sunday, kind of dreary day where I'm at. I hope it's shiny where you are.
No,
But
it's a little overcast and chilly, but to the people out there, yeah, hopefully
okay,
your day is sunny.
that's right. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream, people. My co-host Mark Miller is on the other side over there. How you doing, my brother?
I'm doing good. What's happening?
Nothing much, man. Nothing much. Just another day in the struggle.
Yeah,
Trying to make
and the struggle is real.
it.
You
Yeah,
know,
yes.
let nobody fool you on that.
Yeah, man. Shit is kind of rough all over the place with the way things
Yeah,
going. But
yeah.
before we get into that, let me tap myself on the back real quick. Bye. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
55th
yeah,
birthday. You
bye.
know what I'm saying? Brother to
All
turn
right,
55 out here in these streets.
all right.
Yeah,
Hey,
still making it.
you're doing better than most. You're
Yeah,
doing
man.
better than most.
Still
You know.
above ground. You know what I'm saying? I can't complain. A lot of my homeboys ain't make it this far. So
Well, I
proud.
mean, I say it's a little more than that, but yeah, I agree with you 100%.
I can also, if I'm tooting my own horn, attribute some of it to making better decisions, in my life. So I
Hey,
made I made some decisions that guaranteed me some sort of longevity out here. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And I'm happy with that.
that's
Family
real
life.
important.
Yeah,
That's real important, man. Like I mean, we can all look back. I wish I had these powers when I was in my 20s, but again, I guess it's a part of the journey.
that's what I feel like. Hindsight only comes
Yeah,
after you've been through it. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
you get to realize there would have been a easier path had you only been
Uh,
away.
yeah, but I also look and
But sometimes those same struggles kind of define who we are. You know what I mean? They
yeah,
help us. They help us sharpen the blade, so if you will. You know what I mean? So,
100%. That's what I was gonna say. If I didn't go through these struggles, you know, what really type of person, I would be,
well,
if I would have been successful at a younger age, but, didn't really go through any fire,
yeah,
to get there. And I don't know, I might have been a complete asshole. I might have been just a sniveling little bitch. I don't, who knows, with
yeah,
a weak
true.
family,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
right.
usually when you don't go through that fire, man, you a special person sometimes,
Yeah, yeah,
that nobody like that.
struggle
Nobody.
on some levels gives you character. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? You can
exactly.
decipher how
Exactly.
to make it to the next level out of your struggle. You know what I mean? And you're gonna definitely have built some character during that
Yeah.
time. You know what I'm saying?
Even
Some
just to peep out some bullshit.
character or bad character. Now, don't get it wrong. It could be good character or bad character, but you're gonna have
Yeah.
definitely
Yeah.
devolved or evolved some sort of character. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, man.
Well, congratulations and much love on your birthday.
Thank
You
you, man.
know,
Oh, bro.
yeah, yeah.
And then
It,
it was
it,
a
it
kind
is.
of
There is something to be said. Yeah.
it was a kind of wild week, bro. So right after my birthday was on Easter Sunday, right? So
Mhm.
the following Wednesday, my wife took me to a Cardi B concert.
Okay. How was that?
Ball, I had a ball in there, bro. I mean, to keep it 1,000, man, all that ass shaking, you know what I'm saying? I'm looking around like,
Hmm.
good Lord, but I had permission to look left and right
You
at that
couldn't
night.
help yourself. You couldn't help yourself. Hey, listen, I tried to tell my wife because I don't like Cardi B. I said, man, you don't understand. That girl's from the streets. That's one of us. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, but
Everybody should put some respect on her name. She
I
ain't
can't
she ain't with
say
the bullshit, man.
I can't say even with the eye candy around, my attention was focused on my wife, man, because she had a fucking ball, bro.
Good.
It's rare that I get to see her enjoy herself like that. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? She got the dancing, you know what I'm saying? She had to get them on there.
absolutely.
Hold up, what we doing? We had a good
So,
old time, man. It was a
well,
good
that's
old time,
good. That's
bro.
good to hear.
Yeah, man. Well, all right,
Uh,
let's get into
yeah.
some of this meat and potatoes over here today. Um, well, first thing I want to talk about is this shit right here. Trump's voter suppression scheme. So it seems that this scheme itself, that I'm calling it a scheme, this voter suppression scheme has taken a lot of faces. You know what I'm saying? I want to say one that we don't think about so much is the ICE campaign. Because if you think about it, a lot of the Mexican Americans was voting Democrat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They were or Democrat or leaning that way. So I feel like he's eliminating the fan base or a group of people by getting rid of them and pushing that whole ideology of the ICE thing. And secondly, the rules that he's implemented since he's been president. Now I've been a voter ever since I can remember. There have been some years I haven't voted, but ever since I can remember, I've had my right to vote. And so I fell off the map a few times, caught a couple of short stints in jail.
Yeah.
But even through that, I've been able to legally vote in other states. Like I moved to New Mexico, I voted. I moved to Ohio, I voted. Moved to Missouri, I voted. And I end up here in Virginia, and I registered to vote and get my card registered, you know what I'm saying? And then I get a letter in the mail telling me that I'm no longer eligible to vote because I'm a convicted felon. And, you know, I haven't been locked up since motherfucking 1992. Well, you know, out here anyway. But
yeah.
And all my other charges are expunged. So the only place I really even have a record left is here in Virginia. And I come to find out, don't do expunges or forgiveness. So yeah.
Okay.
That's been a big issue for me. I want to be a part of the movement that gets rid of the tyrant. You know what I'm saying? I want to be one of the ones that say I voted and have my voice heard and shit. But I feel like that's a travesty of justice because in some states they even giving convicted felons who I'm not sure how much time you have to have outside of your jail stint, but they're giving them their right to carry guns back.
What state is this?
Well, I gotta do my research on it. But I was reading something to that effect. Maybe it's an effort to have that pushed in or pushed through, but I was assuming it was already done. I gotta reread it. I don't want to misquote, but I definitely read that. That's either something going on or something that's happening right now. So it's an effort in that aspect. So what, you know, why wouldn't that be something?
They've been trying to push that for some years to nonviolent felony records but I think it's drugs and nonviolent. I think you cannot have been convicted of drugs, you know, or any violent crimes. You lose your rights permanently. But they've been working on it.
That's definitely what I got convicted. I got an assault and 2 drug charges out here. Been attempted distribution in the school zone.
Ooh. That might. We might have to argue a little harder to get that taken off. But,
I mean, I don't know. I don't got no problem with that. They just have to present the platform. You know what I mean? I feel like,
how much does it cost?
Well, out here, like I said, they don't even have that available. In Maryland, you know, I mean, where I spent most of my time in life, I had caught a few charges out there, and I had no problems getting those expunged. And I had some pretty serious accusations, I would say, because I wasn't convicted, but it was just on my record type shit, making it look bad. You know what I'm saying? So I got all that shit taken off. My record in Maryland is clear. Virginia is the only place I still got a few anchors left on my ankle. You know what I'm saying? That's bullshit. But like I said, I ain't been in trouble since 1992 out here. So that shit is
The biggest issue is going to be ID.
Yeah.
Like if you don't have a driver's license, and I didn't realize a lot of people do not have a driver's license. And even in some states, you need something more than driver's license. You need a passport and or voter ID.
I got that state license. I got the good one, the one, you know, the one you can fly with and all that shit. I always get that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I got I don't know. I just feel some type of way about that. I feel like that's in the way for them to have these type of rules when
Well, that's the reason.
uh,
That's the reason they figure more Democrats are poor
mhm.
and don't it won't check up on the rules, but it's about to backfire on them because in all
Yeah.
reality, it's going to be more of them southern states, the Republicans, that these people do not have proper identification.
Well, there's a vote that is supposed to be taken. I'm not sure if it's tomorrow. I think it is tomorrow or the next day that they've been pushing out here. I'm trying to, the name of the proposition is escaping me, but basically it's the one that Obama has been broadcasted about, basically trying to stop the Republicans from doing what we were talking about in the beginning, redrawing those district lines,
Yeah,
into their own favor, and that's what I really wanted to vote on. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I'm kind of salty about that I can't do that,
Mm.
but yeah. I hope I hope it goes over anyway. I hope it's enough people that's inclined to block that bullshit. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
keep things from spiraling out of control any further.
Well, Tasha can vote, right?
Yeah, she definitely can. And
has she voted before?
yeah, she voted with me in New Mexico, Ohio, and Missouri. So I'm gonna have to send her out there this time.
Yep.
And I'm
Yep.
definitely
going to represent. Yeah.
I'm definitely gonna have to make that maneuver to get her licensed,
Mm-hmm.
for the pew pews.
Yep.
So I can't even touch them out here. I don't even want to go to the gun range. Fuck that.
Yeah.
But I go over to Maryland or DC to find me a gun range if they got one in DC. Shit. But yeah, man. I don't know. What was the other things? I wanted to segue that over into the talk about the war, the Iran war, man.
Is that what you want to call it?
Yeah, well, the Iran.
I'm just saying.
Well, I mean,
what
the way I'm doing this is like one of the weirdest confrontations that I can remember, because it's like we got enough firepower to fucking wipe out that country if we want to, even without nukes. So I don't really get what's going on. It's like we were at a so-called ceasefire, and Trump was breaking his arm, patting himself on the back that he was getting that type of shit done. But it turns out that it never actually happened. You know what I mean? They still fighting, they still blocking off ships and shooting at motherfuckers. So I don't know what's really going on right now. What are we sending troops to?
Yeah.
What is their goal? You know what I'm saying? Is the questions I have. What is the end goal? Are we going to take over Iran? Are we going to fucking wipe out their leadership? Are we just going to do a back and forth like we did in fucking Iraq? You know what I mean? Get a lot of people killed for nothing.
Well, that ain't going to happen. Well, I ain't going to say not going to happen. But you got a lot of people against us doing that same shit over again.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hip, but like, I mean, from all presentations, it looks like we have a dictator on the top of the food chain right now, and it seems like anything else that has been in his power to do, regardless of how anybody feels about it, he does.
Yeah.
So that's my problem with it. He can say fuck everybody, I'm still going to do it, and just push troops out there. You know what I mean? With
seems like that's kind of what he's basically doing. He has not followed one policy rule on how do you declare war on another country. Now, you haven't gone to Congress. You just, you're just doing shit way out of bounds. So I have no idea, brother. I usually will have an opinion, a solid opinion.
Yeah.
And I just can't call it on this one. I'd be like, this is the dumbest shit ever. But,
it's just another.
It just makes no sense. You're going against every single norm I've been taught.
Another prime example of how people just turn a blind eye to the weirdness of this president.
Yeah.
That's it's just amazing to me. So I'm wondering. Yeah, and it's also
That shit.
Also, I'm looking ahead to try
Yeah.
to figure out what's going to be the next step. Who's the next president? What is going to be the I'm trying to figure out the word I'm looking for. What are going to be the parameters of the next
Well,
president? I mean, is he going to be is this the new curve? Is this the new way of running the America? You know,
well,
what I mean,
that's
with
what I
this
was
type
gonna
of
say. Yeah,
uh,
everything's gonna tell at the midterm elections.
yeah,
If
yeah,
it looks like if they're purging a lot of people and this shit looks a little funny,
mm-hmm,
and people that are winning shouldn't not be winning
yeah,
according to any statistic or poll.
yeah,
Just keep it out in the midterms, is what I'm saying. That'll dictate or determine if this whole thing is a wrap. You know, it ain't no
yeah,
matter. Trump ain't leaving office, or Republicans ain't leaving office, and all this other shit. So, that's what I say. Let's use that as a barometer and see if, hey, is this still, you know, a so-called free and fair election? We'll see.
hmm.
You know,
Yeah, because that is the biggest question.
yeah,
Is that even the case anymore
hmm,
at this point? You know,
yeah.
it doesn't seem so, especially
It doesn't.
when they have laws in place that say you can't even give a thirsty person water in the line
Yeah,
at the polls. That's the weirdest, weird type of laws like that make sense to people. I don't get it.
yeah.
I
But
don't.
I want people to counter this shit. If you
Uh,
know that, then fucking bring a bottle of water with you. Simple as that.
yeah,
You
right,
know, I get
right.
the argument and the fairness, but
Mhm.
that's the rules right now. So you just counter it. Well, okay, well, I'll bring my own water.
Yeah,
Fine. Let's think about something else. Talk about something else. And so that's what I'd say. I get your point. The shit ain't fair at all, but they passed it. Nothing we
yeah,
can do about it, you know?
true.
So, I don't want to get caught up on, complaining and all that about it,
Yeah,
because this is a personal opinion, man. This is just a personal opinion.
yeah.
It needs to be spoke on. I
Mhm.
agree, but there's not. I want us to not get caught up, and I'm talking in general terms. I don't want
Right.
us to not get caught up on shit that you can't do shit about.
Yeah, I
If you
get
can
it.
counter it reasonably, counter it. Okay, I'll bring 2 bottles of water with me. Fuck it,
Yeah,
And you never get thirsty while you're standing in line,
yeah, I get it.
So, but there's other things that just the ID thing is really, kind of has me a little, upset. It's just, well, what a state at, I mean, look, you countered it. Now hear me out.
Mhm.
You're a prime example of, okay, the rules are now, so I went and got me a license that covers all that shit. I ain't got to worry about it. You
Right.
know, and,
Yeah,
and that's what I feel people need to start doing. Hey, man, they don't put the rules out there. Counter it.
yeah.
Do counter however way you want to counter it, but
Or,
take the
or
power out of their hands.
or they could just make it easier on everybody and only
They
give you
should.
one option. You know,
100%.
one option would be the only choice that I would pick. Why give somebody an option to pick a license that's not going to be sufficient?
Exactly. Makes no sense.
At
Instead
the
of
end,
put the license out there that will cover everything that the
that's-
government's
this,
asking for.
this is the only option you get. You get
Oh yeah,
this.
you can get this license over here. It ain't gonna do you no good. Like, what the
Right.
fuck are you doing? Why am I even wasting time and money?
Exactly. It doesn't
Yeah.
make sense.
And it makes I don't know, man.
All right. One more thing. I saw the other day on there. I'm not going to get all deep into it because I'm not too versed, but I saw something about some gun rights being passed, a new gun bill. Did you hear anything about it at all?
Man, I be so I'll watch some of these reports, try to Google it every now
Yeah,
and then to see where that's at, and it's all different. It's state to state.
yeah.
It's still literally state to state. It's not federal unless they do something federal.
Well, I
mean,
think this was something they said. I don't know who it was, but I was kind of halfway listening. I heard that someone just signed some type of new gun law into effect where it's stating now that people gonna have to have background checks at the gun shows.
Ooh.
I don't know if it went into effect yet, or if he just signed it into effect and now it's the law, or what. But I heard something to that effect. That's what I was trying to find out if you had heard.
So if that happens,
yeah, it's a wrap. Yeah,
it's a wrap for the gun shows. Yeah. They're not even gonna have them. You know.
Yeah. It wouldn't be worth it. It wouldn't be worth it. I'm sure the majority of the revenue comes from people who ain't all the way straight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah,
you know?
and I believe that's, like you said, that's probably 80% of, maybe not 80, I don't know, 60 at least. People buying guns and not supposed to have guns, you know. So, you know, I guess the gun show thing got too big, and this is what cracks me up. You got all, remember when Democrats were in office, they're gonna take your gun rights. And I kept telling motherfuckers, it ain't Republicans, it's that motherfucker right there, Trump. Yeah. He's gonna he's gonna find a way, to take your rights. Oh no, he's for the Second Amendment on. Okay, buddy. All right. I don't know what else to tell you. It's gonna happen. They've been flirting with it.
He had all them people fooled into believing he was that type of guy.
Yeah.
Till he got into office.
Yeah. And this, anytime we had a mass shooting that killed a bunch of kids,
first thing they talked about
what party was the one that wouldn't, cast enough votes to make it,
it was always a Republican.
Republicans. You always talking about that freedom and don't mess with the Second Amendment, and that's going to mess with the Second Amendment if we do that. I don't know what the problem is, man. Like, what messing with what Second Amendment? What the fuck are you talking about? Right. You got motherfuckers out here killing kids, man. It's like,
crazy.
Anyway,
man.
Let's see. Excuse me.
Pretty much all I got for today, my guy. Anybody listen? I see we had a couple people tapping in and out. I appreciate you watching, whoever that is. If you so inclined, please leave a comment on the stream and let us know what you thought about the topics we covered today, man. We talked about my birthday, me turning 55, you know what I'm saying? In these streets. We talked about Trump's voter suppression scheme, as I call it, and the multi-facets that it entails. We talked about the Iran war. And we ended up with gun rights and vaguely talked about a bill that was signed by somebody I still need to verify. But I mean, the words are out there. We looking for more information, so if anybody's paying attention to this, please tap in and give us some.
Give us some topics. We're kind of busy. I hate to use that as an excuse, but it's the reality of it. Work has been crazy. Me and man are in the same industry, and it is a lot more busier and congested than it was in the past.
We spend more time at work than at home without.
They want these things built, and they want them built yesterday. So I apologize if we're not up on all the topics and the latest news. But we need your help out there to, hey, give us something that you may be interested in. You want to hear from us, our opinion. We can give that all day, every day. It's an opinion.
First and foremost, this is entertainment. This is entertainment. And on top of that, we just try to cover some of the things that we feel Black men and women and people in general care about. It's this podcast comes from a human perspective. And under that tier, it becomes a Black man or woman's perspective, because that's we're Black men, I can speak from the white man's perspective or a white woman's perspective, although I'm not bashing their perspective, I'm only delivering my own. So on that note, we're going to call it a wrap. I really appreciate, like I said, everybody tapping in. Leave some comments. Let us know how you feel about the podcast. This is the OGH Rock Salute. We out of here like last year. My co-host Mark Miller.
Hey, peace, everybody.
Peace. We outie.
All right.